Hello, I'm Caroline Rudderman, and we are here to do some Reiki on the brain and the nervous system today. So sit back, relax. I will probably be having my hands on my lap throughout the session, so I might not be holding it up, beaming it directly to you, but here is Prince Henri here to join us with the brain and the nervous system today. You might be experiencing brain fog, slurred speech, anxiety, depression, or any number of things, or concussion, nervous system disorders, or maybe you just want a little tune-up on this really vital part of us, right? This is often where a lot of trauma is stored, or it's sort of the gateway to release the trauma is through our nervous system. So find a place to relax, set an intention for yourself, more importantly. How do I want to feel in my nervous system? How do I want to feel in my brain? Remembering that the brain and the mind are different. The brain is the organ, right? Where there's all the nerves firing and the electricity, right? It's the hardware. Whereas our mind is the software. Where a lot of the belief systems, the old programmings are running, a lot of the subconscious. And that's also where we can choose to focus the mind on our breath, on our heart center, on our subtle body, on the kitty cats on our lap. I always tell you guys that my cats don't usually just come and sit on my lap like this unless I'm doing Reiki sessions. Sometimes they'll come and harass me when I'm reading a book, but I really like to express that, like, when my cats join me during these sessions, they're here to assist with the energy. They're definitely soaking it up too, but they are here to assist in your process. Even when I'm working one-on-one, sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't, but when they're here in the group sessions, they're really here with intention as well. So I just like to honor their role, bringing in that black cat energy. Here we go. So settle in. Some of you, I feel like, need to find a slightly more comfortable seat. So if you don't like sitting up, don't sit up. If the chair that you're sitting in is not comfortable, move to the floor or put your legs up the wall. Some of you actually really just need to find that more comfortable place. There you go. Comfortable way of being in the body. There we go, and here we begin. A lot of the energy is really starting across the base of the skull. My whole left hand here is really holding the base of the skull right now, that brain stem. And I'm holding the vision and the eyes across the eyebrows right now at the front. Take a big breath in, exhale. Another big belly breath in. And exhale. So arriving back at that intention that we set a few minutes ago, or maybe you didn't get a chance to. How do I want to exist with my brain? How do I want to exist with my nervous system? Sometimes that space that we call the nervous system is so unregulated, we don't even realize how stressed out we are until we do, a week at the beach, or until we really have a getaway and it's only the last day or two of the vacation that we're like starting to relax. We've all been there. Take a big breath in. Exhale, we just get stimulated, overstimulated, especially very sensitive people, right? We're talking about highly sensitive people. I can almost feel everybody's third eye start to feel a little sleepy and relaxed here. I can almost feel it across my own eyes. It almost feels droopy. So see if you can soften in that place. Across the eyebrows, across the eyes. You do not have to keep your eyes open. I'm moving up a little bit from the brain stem, moving up into the back of the head. I'm really right over the eyes right now. Maybe you feel it, maybe you don't. See if you can soften the jaw. Absolutely nothing wrong with who you are, who you're becoming. You just want to give yourself we just want to give you a little bit of spaciousness. So that when change actually does happen, and it's always happening, that you just have a little bit of room to process your emotions. Calming the nervous system doesn't immediately mean that everything is perfect. That's not what we're talking about. As we calm the nervous system down, when we tell our body and our minds that we're safe, then the relaxation can start to unclog the drains. It can start to melt that block of ice. And then we can begin to start processing things. But when we're talking about safety, when we're talking about the nervous system, when we're talking about the brain, a lot of us are just on fire. That's how I was. When I started getting into Reiki, I was, eating a lot of bagels and drinking a lot of beer and staying up too late, and pizza and all the delicious things of the world, right? But I was really stressed out. My whole system was on fire. I was really working a very stressful job. And feeling obligated to do so. Right? The money, all the money. And when I actually started taking my first Reiki workshop, that's when I started feeling like myself again. I felt like my whole head was on fire. was just so stressed out. I didn't even realize it. I did realize it. I know at the time I felt stressed out. But, you know, what happens with stress from what I experience is it gets a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and then you're kind of operating at this level all the time. And then you might do a little stress and then it pops back up. But after my first Reiki treatment, I remember just exhaling and feeling like, oh, this is my body. Feeling like myself again. And then things rapidly changed in my life after that. But I needed that clear, calm awareness. And it's really not easy to do just from the brain. You have to sometimes create the situation. So if that's what we're doing here, is creating a calmer situation for you to be able to slowly start to calm the nervous system down so you can process and reassess and be more aligned, so be it. So I'm starting to work at the back of the neck and the top of the head. So one hand is kind of here. Someone asked me recently, what are all the Reiki practitioners doing with their hands? When you see a lot of like online videos with people kind of streaming and moving things. And I said, I don't know what everybody else is doing, but I can tell you what I'm doing. So this is sort of why I'm dictating when I move my hands to a different hand position. Even though I'm working on the collective, I'm working on everybody's crown, on the top of everybody's head. And I'm working on the back of everybody's neck, as individuals, as collective. I'm also feeling a lot of tightness across the middle of the back. So if you need to lean back, go right ahead. But really what it feels like is that's the container that we're all holding. And when I say that's the container for how we're all holding, it's like there's a certain set of beliefs that we all operate under for this thing called life to function. Right? I gotta go to church every Sunday. I gotta call my mother. I gotta make dinner. I gotta feed the cats. Right? It's these set of operating systems, even if those things do not light us up. Take a big breath in. There's always ways to find ease and flow, right? But when we have these kind of rigid set of expectations and beliefs, it's really hard to get out of that straitjacket. Here you go, take a big breath in. And sometimes that takes years and years and years to unwind, but sometimes there's really simple solutions that just help tweak to give it a little bit more spaciousness. I'm a big advocate of just doing little tweaks, little tweaks. We can't all go to Peru and have a vision quest, sometimes we can do a little tweak where we take an extra 20 minutes at the end of the day for ourselves and decompress and think about what happened. What did happen today? What happened? Take a big breath in. Exhale, just working at the back of the neck, front of the forehead. I'm going to to just start moving down towards the middle of the back, kind of the spine and all those muscles, and also to the heart center. Just right at the center of the upper chest. It's not the organ of the heart, it's the heart center, it's the chakra. God brings love on all levels. And I'm really working at the back of the solar plexus as well. There you go, take a big breath in. Exhale. Bring you guys a little bit closer. Some of you guys are really going through it right now. There's a lot of decisions. I can feel it. Take that situation and just wrap it into a marble, put it into a ball, the whole situation, whatever it is that's really tugging at you. Put it into that marble, put it into that bowl, and then put that onto a little stand right onto the shelf for right now. We're just going to begin to ask ourselves, not just ourselves, but you're going to go ahead and ask the big blue sky, the earth underneath you, your spirit guides, your angels. What are 5 solutions to that situation? What are 5 solutions to making that situation 10% easier? There you go. The reason that we're asking for 5 is that it's a reminder to let you know that there's always different ways. There's always multiple solutions. Take a big breath in, knowing that you don't have to follow any of them if you don't want to. Take a big breath in. Sometimes that solution might come in as a sensation or a part of your body relaxing. There you go, take a big breath in. If it's an aha moment, just write it down and put it aside. I'm just starting to soften at the back of the jaw, back of the neck. Really working on the whole jaw right now. No one's asking you to be any different than who you are. Starting to work at the front and the back of the throat, the back of the neck. I'm really working along the spine, along all those beautiful muscles in the back of the throat, back of the neck. Right, that are responsible for turning our head up and down. Keeping our head on top of our shoulders. That's what it is. If you did not get an answer to your solutions to the situation, keep asking. Keep asking the big blue sky. Literally, like, imagine the trees. Imagine the wind. Imagine the blue sky and the clouds above you. What are some possible solutions to the situation? Take a big breath in. Stop expecting an answer to come. Right, we can't control the wind, but we can sit back and watch it come in. We can feel the wind moving across our skin, through our hair. We can watch it moving across the trees, through the branches, right? We become just receivers of the wind. Same thing when we're asking for solutions. If it comes, it comes. That's what we're talking about. Sometimes it's a sensation. Sometimes it's a clear knowing that it's going to be okay. You are 100% allowed to ask the big blue sky, can you help? Trees around you, your spirit guides, the animals in your life, can you help? I surrender. Can you help? I need some help. I need some assistance. Tired of planning every little detail. Can you help? I'm overwhelmed, overworked, burnt out, exhausted from trying so hard. Can you help? Just letting your spirit guides, letting the universe, God, or whatever words work for you. Say, I'm not in control. Can you help? Moving back up to the forehead, staying kind of top of the shoulders, back of the neck. And please, please, please remember that if you are actively trying to calm your nervous system down, if you've watched any of these videos, you know, stimulants are gonna stimulate. But also keep in mind that sugar and things that turn into sugar, right? The kind of simple carbs really inflame your system. So when we're talking about the food that we eat, it's also going to impact your nervous system. Right, so we're talking about upping the green veggies, reducing or removing the sugar. There we go, take a big breath in. And it's like, is apple juice sugar? It is so much sugar. Drinking apple juice is a very different thing than drinking, than having just one apple. And I'm not judging what you choose to put into your body. It's just a gentle reminder that when you're talking about healing anxiety, when you're talking about healing depression, brain fog, right? The things that we put into our body, the food that we eat is healing or harmful. And you know that comfort eating is a thing too. I 1000% get it. There we go. That's what we're starting to remove, starting to sink in a little deeper. I almost just feel like something shifted. It's like everyone's forehead and the back of their neck kind of feels a little bit like it's on fire right now. I'm just starting to work on the sides of the jaw. And our breathing, that counts. Exhale. after this video, please check out the self-guided Reiki video. If you want to learn how to do Reiki, there's an attunement video that I posted. And then there's sort of a, now what, part 2 attunement. And after you receive that attunement, you can do the self-Reiki treatment right along, right, where you kind of, where we do it together and you can learn the sequence. There we go. Big breath in. Exhale, coming around to the sides of the cheeks. Up above the ear. You might feel it, you might not. And I'm moving to the base of the tailbone, as well as sort of the top of the shoulders, kind of right along the spine here. The reason that I'm kind of holding my hands the way I do is because I imagine that there's like a hologram of a person in front of me. So sometimes I imagine that I'm working on the sides of the head, sometimes on the top of the head, underneath the whole body, just so you kind of understand some of my working patterns. So I'm kind of working on this almost like, it's a hologram, right? It's this sort of 3D bubble of who you are as I'm watching all of your energy fields at the same time. So right now I'm kind of moving down to everybody's hips. And I change hand positions when in my mind's eye, I am shown to move to a different location. So while this looks like I'm working at the front and the back of the brain, right? When my intention has shifted to be working at the hips. So even though the hands are the same in that imaginary 3D hologram, imagined, I should say, 3D hologram, I'm now working on your hips. And maybe some of you feel it, maybe some of you don't, but I'm a teacher, and so I like to let you know how I'm working. You might work similarly, or you might work totally different, or you might not even have any clue. But it's just a little peek behind the curtain. There we go. Prince Henri is leaving us. So now I'm kind of working at the lower dantian, a couple of inches below the belly button. And at the sacrum right now. I'm just telling Prince Henri, thank you. And he's like, I'm still working. I could hear him say it in my mind. I'm still working. He just moved locations. We've got about 10 more minutes here together. And if you know that your brain and your nervous system need a little extra TLC, watch these videos again. And just remember that you don't have to listen to the audio for me to still be sending you the Reiki. Returning back to your intention. How do I want to feel in my nervous system? How do I want to feel in my brain? Clear, calm, focused. Easy. Not easy. Oh, honey. So my other cat, Daisy, wants to come up now. Take a big breath in. Exhale. And Daisy doesn't so much jump as claw her way up. So she needs a little space. Take a big breath in and exhale. There it is. Yep. And some of what I just was feeling was like some of the mental activation and like the brain squeeze. This is Daisy. I'm going to say hello. Now moving up to the abdomen, as well as to the just sort of the whole middle back is where I'm working. Here you go. Take another big belly breath in. Exhale. This is where our breathing counts. Every time I call for a big belly breath, right, it's the breathing with the diaphragm, using the belly button to, on the inhale, to rise, and on the exhale, using the belly button to come towards the spine on the exhale. So you're deepening your breath, and you're using bigger muscles. It becomes easier to breathe that way. One more big belly breath in. Exhale. So please, please, please don't forget to tune in to the self-treatment video so that you can, of course, always receive Reiki. I am 100% here for you. But so that when you do feel like you need a little extra TLC, you can do Reiki for yourself too. Or you can share it with other people. Right? Just do the attunement video. You can't do Reiki wrong. You can't mess it up, and you can't do it wrong. You can't hurt anybody. Sometimes our stuff comes up. I remember a friend of mine came over one night, and she was really emotional. She was really upset about something that happened, and she was out, and she had a couple too many drinks, and she had come over, and I started offering her a little bit of Reiki because she was really feeling a lot of feelings. And the first thing that happened is that she went to the bathroom, got it out of her system. So it's not saying that like Reiki is always going to be, but it is a balancing force. It's a balancing force. And her system did not need to process all of that extra alcohol, so it ejected. Right? Sometimes that's alignment. Sometimes that's bringing us closer to alignment. Right? Sometimes the tears, sometimes falling asleep. There throat and the back of the neck right now. Just so you know where I am. And you might be feeling it in totally different parts of your body. So I'm moving down towards your sort of top of the feet, top and outside of the feet right now. And if you're interested in learning either one-on-one Reiki or in a group setting, I do offer in-person and virtual classes. I'm always happy to share like this. But if you have questions and you want to kind of keep learning and keep exploring, I'm here for that too. My website is ReikiNorthampton.com, and I always have classes listed and all that kind of stuff. So, but if this is where you stay and this is how we know each other, I'm 100% okay with that too. So I'm kind of working sides of the neck, sides of the jaw right now, almost in the space between. There we go. And now top of the shoulders. Usually I kind of encourage, a little bit better posture for myself, but because I've kind of got a cat on my lap and my chair is a little bit reclined and my hands are also here, I'm just kind of allowing the softness of my form to relax, kind of sitting up perfectly straight without any back support can, use a little muscle, and there's nothing wrong with that, but so just know that as I'm kind of sinking back into these spaces, that's how I'm relaxing into the energy too. I don't know if you can see these two little ears. Such a look, just one eye open. And Daisy often brings a lot of that deep healing energy in with her. Sometimes, like when you're swimming in a pond and you kind of swim through one of those warm patches, especially in the spring. I'm in New England, in Massachusetts. Sometimes when you're swimming, you like in these natural bodies of water, there'll be like a little cold patch and then a warm patch and then a cold patch, and it's sort of the, you can really feel how the water itself holds different properties, different temperatures. There we go. Working on the ankles now. I feel like there's a lot of ankle disruption in this group. I don't know why. It's like ankle and like jaw. I'm seeing people kind of like aching lower back. Working on the waistline, the top of the hips, the waistline. Just got a couple more minutes to go. And I'm working right under the ribs, sides of the waist. And exhale. All right, my friends, we are coming to a close on this session. Feel free to watch this again. Back to back, you can give it some time, watch it the next day, watch it a month from now, a year from now, whenever you want to. I'm just going to start smoothing your energy down. I still feel like there's a lot of like holding at everybody's feet. So if you can go, it might be the middle of winter where you are, but if you can go and put your feet in like a warm Epsom salt bath, or get your feet into the grass, or soaking your feet, or into the ocean, or into the sand maybe. There's just a lot of like holding at the feet. There we go. One more big belly breath in. Just kind of holding space at the crown chakra as well as at the bottom of the feet here. One more big breath in. Exhale. All right, my dears. I'm scooping up all of the energy. I'm giving everything a kiss.